And get rid of this. There we go. And let's bring comments up. Cool. So, hey, what's up, everybody? Gene Fetty with the Automotive Appearance Institute here with our first live stream repair. Wanted to hop in and give this a go. It's something I've been meaning to try for a while. We've got a big old dent on a Ram bedside. I'm going to give people some time to come in here. Hey, what's up, Mark? Hey, Mark, how's my audio? Can you hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up or just comment. I can see the comments. While you're doing that, I'm going to get this taillight out of our way. Let's see, what do you say? Sounds good. Perfect. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it, dude. We got some extra wiring here. It's always a fun time when people add accessories to their truck. Go. All right, guys. So we're going to be working on this truck, maybe. Just do it that way. We'll go old school. Don't think that I'm going to be getting this entire truck done this evening, but I am going to get started on it, get some good moves. I wanted to bring you guys on and show a little bit of tension. Let's go. Which camera is that? Camera 2. Get you a little better shot of what the damage is. So we've got some pretty good impact here. So the customer and his wife were riding their motorcycle, and they pulled up and sat down, and he's not sure what happened, but somehow the bike and him and her all fell over, and his shoulder came and caved that bedside in, which is good for us, not so good for him. Anyways, guys, if you have any questions about anything while we were doing this, just shoot them out here. We should be live on Facebook and YouTube. So what we need to do here, what we're going to do here is, this is a great dent for lateral tension. So anytime you've got a body line, the body line runs this way, and when it travels inward, it really travels in this way and in this way. So a little bit of tension here, right? If we could think of like a bed sheet, if we were to pull, that helps this move out tremendously. So what I want to do here is, let's jump over to, I think it's camera 4. There we go. So what I want to do here is we're going to be using the Anson plug-in collision guns. These have been my go-to favorite as of late. I've had them for a few months, putting them through the paces. Best glue gun I've used so far. Now, I did see that Jonathan from Belgium, JVF Tools, has a new set of, our new glue gun coming out that is for collision. It is, I think it even runs on pellets. It is a serious glue gun. What's up, Andy Patrick? How are you, dude? All right, so we're going to start with some tension. I've really been enjoying the, let me bring them over to you and show you. I think that's this camera. I'm going to bring them over to you and show you the tab straps from Kiko and the K-Power. The reason I'm going to go with these is because over on our car, I want to be able to get these across the body line. Danny Hacker, thanks for the tip on heating and bending a pair. But I want to get up on the body line, and then I want to have them flip out of the way so I can make a separate pull through here. Now, I could set up the JVF retention and try to tension and pull at the same time. In fact, we'll do that on another repair. On this particular one, I'm going to give the old tab straps a go. We could also use Black Plague's. Strap adapter for the Porta Power. That would not be a bad way to go. We're going to come in. We're going to give our panel a little clean. I always like to go with the 99% alcohol. I feel like it works noticeably better than the 91. Clean our tabs and clean the panel. Andy Patrick, that's a good one. You know what? I think we can put that on the screen. So there we go. Yes, always. Actually, I'm the opposite, Andy. I like to have no tension with my adjusters. I like to keep the adjusters nice and happy. All right, so I want to gently warm my tabs. Now, we don't need to get these hot. We don't need to heat the whole tab. We're just warming them up. And I want to get rid of any humidity in my panel here. So you can use a heat gun. I prefer to use a torch. It's like that it's a little bit faster. Actually don't have to heat up quite as far to get that humidity out of there. And now we're going to come in with our collision glue. Now on these tabs, pardon my mouth. Is this camera? I gotta get used to this. We don't need to fill the whole tab up. We're just gonna fill up maybe the front few inches. So there's that. I don't know why. Every time I go to do a tab, I'm always at the end of a stick. Maybe I use too much glue. No such thing as too much glue. So let's get in here. Let's fill this up. Now, I used to never wear gloves doing glue, but I got a pretty good burn last year that sort of made me change my mind. Since then, if I'm doing something big, I typically am wearing gloves. Gloves don't hurt nearly as bad as your fingers do. So, bigger tab, bigger amount of glue. I like to hold it in place for maybe 15 seconds to let it sit. Just trying to be straight on that body line right here. We're going to do the other side. And again, guys, if you have any questions, answer them. And while we're letting tabs cool, I will answer your questions in between steps. So I always like to keep a couple guns going, just so I never run out of melted glue. Come on. It's one of those days where it wants to fight you. So just a good couple inches of hot glue on there. Same thing. Just want to get lined up on that body line. Get my tab nice and straight. Maybe hold it there for 15 seconds. Whew. It's a little warm. Oh, we got a bunch of comments popping off. Let's come over and see what's going on. All right. Austin, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Andy, thanks for the shout out. What's up, Jeff McMahon? No doubt. All right. So what collision glue am I using these days? So Jared, that's a great question. So in Pittsburgh, I'm in the northeast. What the hell camera am I on? There's too many cameras. I need a camera person here all the time. Anyways, so I'm in the northeast. It's been a little cool. My go-to cooler weather, not cold, but cooler weather in the shop, back to Cam Auto, the collision glue, Pico's collision glue, Cam Auto glue, same thing. Stays nice and flexible. When I get into the hotter weather, I will switch back to my Anson hard pull is my go-to then. But this weather, it stays a little bit flexible, a little bit longer. Doesn't want to get quite as brittle. A little easier for cleanup, and we go from there. What's up, Stu? Yeah, Andy, that new JVF gun I think is going to be pretty awesome. I saw a video of Bryce using it, and I also saw Jonathan demoing it. A little sip of water here. Let's think about some tabs. Now, I may have shot myself in the foot a little bit. Let's jump back over to this camera. I may have shot myself in the foot a little bit because I was thinking, man, I want to put the K power on here and let it flip out of the way. What I didn't think through was the lack of distance for a foot here, right? So in hindsight, maybe that JVF retention would have been the play. And now that I think about it, I've got a box from Anson sitting right over my shoulder with his Bodyline Buddy tabs. No big deal. I'm still going to roll with this. But in hindsight, as I put that on, starting to make me think like, that's a popper, Louis. You can come down and pop it out, and then I'll finish up the rest. Anyways, these are set up well enough. Let's see about getting the K power on here. So if you have not used this, pretty cool tool. And the end is just a standard 1/4 inch screw gun or a screw mount. Man, that's my father-in-law would call that a long-winded bastard. So let's go this way. Spin that up, slide this on. There we go. And then come in here. Slide this on. All right, so we're just into tension. So guys, let me give you a little tech tip, right? So this is nice because you can completely flop it out of your way. Don't try to flop this out of your way while you're under full tension. It will bind up and actually want to peel the tabs. So these are not quite ready to go, but I'm going to go ahead and put another tab here. Again, I was thinking, I guess we can see how this will look. I was originally thinking I was going to go with the Cam Auto to show a little bit of love to a couple different companies. Well, maybe we can pull this off. We might be able to pull this off. Yeah, we're going to give it a go. We're going to go with the Cam Auto tab and see what we can do here. So the Cam Auto tabs, where you guys all know I was a big Kiko guy, but Charlie makes a great product as well. In fact, I used this series of tabs the other day, saving the quarter panel or side of an ambulance. We had these lined up and pulled out about a 1/2 inch. What the heck? I don't care about Google Lens. Yeah, the K Power is money. It really is a simple, easy setup. They've got the rubber bumpers that sort of hold everything there. We're gonna go right here and get this thing glued up. Let's come back over. Panel's already clean. Go ahead and get this tab cleaned. Now, if you're going to use rubbing alcohol and an open flame, do not put the flame near fresh alcohol, right? It'll flash up, catch on fire, It's a cold fire, but nonetheless, it is a fire still. So just give this a little bit of warmth. This a little bit of warmth. Now I'm going to come in and warm where I'm going to put my tab. Go Michael Jackson style again. Get gloved up. Get this bad boy going. Remember, guys, if you have any questions, like I'm here to not just to show you what we can do with glue, but happy to talk about glue and products as well. Let it come up a little short on that glue. So on the top there, feel like I came up a little short on glue. If I'm short on glue, I will always come back in and add more glue to the tab. When I'm teaching and getting glue in my hair, when I'm teaching, I always sort of preach that too much glue will never hurt you. It'll just slightly slow you down. Not enough glue wants to create a shear and will pull you away in a hurry. So these cam auto tabs are done with a pin. That's what the forks or hooks will come in and grab onto. Let's come back over here and talk. Let's see if we got anything. Wow, listen, I got Louie saying it's a popper, right? And then I got my son asking if he wants to come, if I want him to come down and show me how to do it. So come on down, bud. I'll let it go. In fact, you were saying the other day when we were out working that you know how to do these big dents because that's all I take you to. Hey, shout out to Mac. Today, he got to do his first retail dent. I got it done. Customer was stoked and gave him a tip. That's awesome. Yeah, there we go. A little shout out from good old Uncle Andy. All right. So we're set up here. Those are warm enough. Let's come back to camera 2. Let's add a little bit of tension to this. Now, just because you watch videos online and everybody's running these out and waiting for the dent to pop, I don't think that's how you should do it. I think you should add some tension to help things along. But I think these guys that are really stretching and trying to pull everything out in one move are overdoing it and potentially even creating more damage. So let's see if we can start getting this cam auto set up. Let's see if I can remember what size Charlie said this was. Is that a 9? Catch a 9er in there? Not a 6. Can't see. 9. So on the cam auto lifters, right on the Kiko, it's a 1/4 inch. On the cam auto, it's a 9mm. So I'm going to put a nut driver back there and make my moves. Another cool thing I like about Another cool thing I like about Charlie's lifter, let's come back over and do it this way, is he's added spring tension to this. So you've got screw drive, right, like everybody else. In here is about a 1/2 to 3/4 inch spring that, let's see if I can pull hard enough. If you can see that, I'll come in close. It actually has a little bit of spring. Come on. Oh, there we go. So what that spring does is when you're pulling, right, when we're using the screw handle and we're driving that out, you make your move, let the metal walk, and then it's going to hold. Traditionally, with just a screw, as soon as you start moving your crowns, as soon as you start flowing metal in, you lose your tension right away. With the spring that's built into here, you actually end up with a secondary pull. So pull, it loads the spring, you're pulling your metal out, then your hands are free and you can start working that crown. When you're working that crown, you can knock down and the spring will continue to pull for you. So still a little warm, but I think we can probably get her set up. If you have one of these, it's the best way, where are we at here? The best way, or how Charles showed me to carry him over. All right, this is free. You don't have to unlock it. Just put your fingers there. Let this come in, grab the center, and then just spin it into place. And we're going to loosen this up a little bit. Go. Bring that over just a hair. There we go. That'll work. And there we go. Got locked in. So, I don't know. You probably can't see it. So here, you can visualize it at least over the camera. As I tighten up, just making contact with the rod going through the tab. Now I'm going to pull. All of that movement right there was just the spring. So all of that was just loading up the spring. Now we can start moving and you can really see, you should be able to really see that metal walking in super easy. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that was like, man, I hope you guys saw that. That was like, oh, there it is. Louis, there's your popper, buddy. So we're on, that was, man, it was like that was made for it. Let's catch up on some things here. Good work. There you go. Perfect. Great. Yeah, that's where'd that go? Yeah, that's like running the cameras. Here we go. Let's come back here. I think it's 3. Yeah, running the cameras, setting this up, keeping an eye on everything, trying to show you guys what's going on. Yeah, it's a lot. Toledo, right over at Dent time, makes this stuff look easy, but he's so chill. He's like, yeah, we're just gonna go over here and push some door dings. That's pretty cool. It was part of my inspiration for wanting to do this stuff, to do this live stream. Anyways, great pull there. So I've got a little bit of tension out. Great move, like money move. I've got my spring loaded up here. That's every bit of 3/4 of an inch sticking out at the end there. I'm going to set a light up and we're going to start working this crown. Now it's a little cool in here today. So I'm going to throw just a little bit of heat back at these tabs to keep that glue nice and flexible. As we start to come in and hit that panel, glue does not like vibration. It likes slow and steady. So I just want to throw a little bit of heat back in, warm up these tabs. Just to keep it nice and flexible. I'm unprepared, so let me walk way over here. Give you guys another little look at that setup. I'm gonna walk way over here and grab my light. So guys, how is the, thanks Steve. Well, Mark, it was a popper because we set it up and did it right. Louis, you're fired. Stu, that's just from following the directions, man. So let's go here. There we go. So this is my first time, like over here. All right, let's do this. There we go. All right, so this is my first time streaming with this setup. So I've got 3 cameras out here. We're set up. Leave me some comments. What's the audio like? What's the video like? How's it coming through? We're using StreamYard, which is a new platform for us. We did our webinars on Zoom, and I wasn't real happy. So thanks to Andy and Brandon of Ginger Bros fame. I don't think we have Ginger Bros on any of the cameras tonight. Oh yeah, right there. Look right over there. Anyways, we have the Ginger Bros going on up in the corner. They suggested StreamYard, and man, I'm really digging it. But it's pretty robust. We're trying to learn. That's it. Let's see. Great question. Speaking of the level up repair, let's drop this on the bottom. Go back to here. Yes, Jared. That's a great question. So Jared's question is, right, will people learn these techniques and more at level up training? Like if we're playing volleyball, that's like a bump in a set and I'll just come up and spike it. Yes, absolutely. They're going to learn these techniques and way more. The level up training is at the end of the month, 24th to the 28th, right here, limited to a maximum of 10 students, where we are working hands-on with you out in the shop, back in the classroom, working on repairs, tailoring the damage that you're going to work on to you, right? Whatever damage you need to work on, that's we're going to help you through that inside of the syllabus. We're going to learn hard skills like repair, but also soft skills, estimating, sales, to sell better estimated repairs, working with latest tools. So Kiko, we're going to have a Limident lights here. We've got the new Shrinky box from Keith, the SB4. So the latest and greatest tools. Yes, absolutely. Thanks for the bump and set. Jared, I appreciate that. Good deal. Great. Glad that looks and sounds good. That is perfect. Thanks to the original Dent guys. Awesome. Again, we want to do more and more of these, so I want to make sure that we're putting out a good quality product. So let's switch back over here before my panel cools down because I'm flapping my gums. And let's see. Man, hey, Louie, Mac is taking, or right in your footsteps, the tool he used to fix his car did not make its back to the right place on my cart. Shocker. So let me get these hammers set up here. So I think we're going to go with 2 different kinds of hammers to start working these crowns. First is the old trusty JVF blue Kiko hammer. Maybe the best hammer face ever made for PDR. Like, I love this thing. This is my original one. We got another one on a Knockdown over there. And the new Kiko, I think this is the medium size. I think it's an 18-inch. This new Kiko head, the aluminum head with the pivot tip faces, is just money. Like, wow, unreal. So let's see if I can get you zoomed in here a little better. Just a little better picture of what's going on. There we go. So Louis, see, it's not a total popper. There's still a good bit of damage in there. And let me make sure that I'm not going to block you guys when I come in. You'll be all right. My old man glasses on. If your audio is way up or if you got headphones in, careful. I'm going to start beating on this panel, and I don't want to hurt anybody's ears. So let's sneak in here and start moving this down. Now, remember, we've got tension going out, our lateral tension, and we still got our outward tension on here. And I want to move this down as cleanly as I can. Man, that is so soft. I hope that's showing up on camera because we just have this metal doing exactly what we want it to do. All right, let's do it this way. The things we do for your camera work here so you guys can see what's going on. Glad you can't see me struggling to get my feet in there. right. So what I like about this hammer, see if it'll show up, is because these are on the pivot tip. I'm trying to watch this on the screen. You can't make a bad strike. So when it hits, it will automatically match the shape of the panel. Like, it is pretty incredible how well these pivot tips work. They're great for pushing. They might even be better for knocking down. So that is kind of giving up what I think it might give up. Tighten it up just a little bit, see if we get any more movement out of that tab. Let's start holding on there. So a little tip that I've found over years of doing larger damage like this, and I picked this up from watching Sal Contreras in an advanced skills seminar, is the cleaner you can work here, right? The cleaner you lay this down, the faster you finish out at the end, and the better you finish out at the end, because you're not putting in a bunch of damage that you have to go fix later. So right now, let's see if I can show you on camera, what I'm seeing is, zoom in a little bit more. If you look up at the top there, starting to see some dents showing up in my crowns. That's telling me the metal doesn't want to move anymore. And then if I look down here where my tab is, you can see that low right here that's really hanging up. This, no matter how hard I pull or continue to pull here, I don't think we're going to gain any more there. So I want to stop pulling and stop knocking down with this tab. So we're going to back it up, move this back over a little bit here. And I'm going to turn the light off. Oh, there we go. That's coming back into focus. How are we on cameras? Good. Just checking my batteries because I'm doing this all wireless, 95 and plugged in. All right, we're okay. So what I want to do is take this tab off, see what's there, and place another tab, likely right above where this tab is. So let that alcohol work in there a second. And notice I didn't just want to wildly spray on the panel. I don't want to get, man, that's really on there. I'm going to loosen this off. I don't want to get any alcohol on my tab straps because I'm not done using them yet. Come on, baby. So a little technical difference between, switch to this. A little technical difference between the Kiko K-beams, the Kiko drives, and the Cam Auto is first, 9mm on Cam Auto instead of 1/4 inch on Kiko. But Charlie did a reverse thread. So your brain says righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. On the Kiko, it's actually a standard thread. So it's left pulls. On the Cam Auto, it's right that pulls. So just a little side note to be aware of mentally, like make note of that. So let's get this. Let's get this Cam Auto tab off of here. Assess the situation. See where we're going to go from here. And I will check comments as soon as I get the tab off. Great move. I mean, we had I think that Dent measured like 19 or 20 inches tall before we started. All right, here we go. Oh, Smash Master's in the house. A couple taps and a slap. Oh, we're way up. You guys are blowing me up with the comments. I love it. Thank you, Andy. No doubt. The original Kiko Dent hammer, I think. Where are we at here? So I'm pretty sure this is 16 or 18. So this would make that 18 or 20. Just a nice reach, super lightweight. I think if I remember right, the handle weighs 100 grams, which is like nothing. And that face is just money. Like it's got a beautiful curve that way and that way. It's hard to make a bad strike with that. Let's see where we at. I wish it was a couple taps and a slap and she was good. Right, those are really, it really is soft, really soft metal. There we go. Smash Masters is in the house. What's up, Nick? What is up, Smash Masters? And Mr. Stefan Eshi. All right. So, Jared, that's funny. Already barely bigger than factory Chrysler Orange Peel. Mac, my son, got a taste of that today. So his first retail Dent was on a black Grand Cherokee, maybe like a 2019, something like that. Dude, it was super peely. He's standing there and he's looking and he's like, Dad, what's wrong with this paint? I'm like, buddy, that's just Chrysler. Like, it's just how they do it. And then as we work in the Dent and I'm sort of sitting there coaching him and he's looking and he's like, man, there's stuff on this panel it's way worse than like what's left of my Dent. I'm like, well, yeah, but we still got to make it look good. And then he realized that you got to go around and sort of clean up your whole repair area on those Chryslers. So Mac sort of got a little taste of that today. There we go. Well, Andy, I'm trying to teach people a little something with glue pull. So let me switch over here and give you guys a good look at what that pull looked like. Clean up my mess a little bit. Actually, that was amazing pull. That's the kind of pull that'll sell glue pull tools. So let's see if I can do this right. So I'm gonna loosen here, release here. Haha, we're free. So let's come on over and let's take a look at that first move. So brought a lot of the body line up. I would say that impact there is probably 4 or 5 inches tall. And then we got our soft little low up top. And then this is the top of the crown. We still got tension on here. I'm going to warm those back up And I'm actually going to go glue, I think I'm going to glue 2 tabs. I'll glue one here and one here and make a move. But pretty great first pull, I think. We'll call it a winner. All right, let's not drop my camera. There we go. Perfect. All right, so again, cool weather, spending time talking to you guys. You need to be aware of temperature, right? That's where so many guys go wrong. So many technicians go wrong. So I want to warm that tab, warm that tab. I'm going to come back in and flash those tabs. Now, I think we're going to head to, what are we going to go after today? Where is my new set? There they are. So I've got, come back, 3. So I've got my new set of the Kiko intermediate tabs. Now I did abuse a couple of them and break them and had to get a little warranty. They were weird breaks. They weren't like failure breaks. It was like maybe there was an air bubble in the head. Anyways, I dropped them back off at Kiko for him to check them out. So we're going to use these tabs for our next pulls around that body line. These are an intermediate tab. So slightly different shape. Supposed to be a little bit tougher, pull a little bit flatter. We'll take a couple over and size them up. See what that looks like. Whoa, where'd my camera go? Oh, there is no camera 1 because we're wireless. So let's see. Yeah, like that one there. That one there. And I think we may even come with that small one there. I think that's what we're going to do. So let me give these a quick flash. Not catch any batteries on fire. Good. We already flashed our car. All right. Yeah, we're on the right camera. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit in here tonight to I'll keep that going, but it's making me sweat a little bit. And 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to sneak off camera. I think I'm going to grab my K-bar to pull those. Let's come back to camera 3. So I'm going to go with my K-bar to pull these. I've got it set up with this adapter. It's one of those simple little things that you don't think about. The small adapter with the pin is what lets you lock onto those pins. And I'm going with this because I can jump from tab to tab to tab. Let me check out some comments while it's going. All right. So let me turn this banner off because it's kind of annoying me. Hide comments. There we go. Hudson says you only need a drop of glue. I say you need a lot of glue. I don't think too much glue will ever hurt you. Maybe just slow your dry time down a little bit. Chris, thanks for popping on and saying hi. Appreciate it. Nah, you got to get the alcohol going, brother. What's up, Adam Jones? There we go. And the dime size orange peel on the Chryslers. I told him, I said, you write a hail estimate on a Chrysler, and then when you wipe the circles off, you're halfway done because they're done. Perfect. The original Dent guys, thank you so much. The GPR Masterclass is definitely worth the investment. Yes. So that's part of the beauty of glue pull, and specifically like following Kiko 6Cs or Cam Auto's 5 steps. When you make a bad pull, you just need to go back into the process and see which step you missed. That's all it comes down to is like, you missed a step, go back and figure out which step you missed, and you were there. That masterclass, shameless plug, gprmasterclass.com, or go to autoappearanceinstitute.com and sign up for our subscription. You can get all of our classes. Anyways, we've got over 13 hours of content. It's basically, the best way I can figure it is like if we could work on just heavy glue pulling for like 5 days and line up great cars to work with, it's about what we would get through to do that. So thanks so much for the shout out there, Original Dent guys. I appreciate that. Yes, they are. It's a good tab. I mean, it really, really is. Andy, can I zoom back in with that camera? Oh, sure. A little too wide for you. Let me get in here and see if we can get it nice and tight. There. How is that, Mr. Patrick? Is that what you were looking for? Oh, look at that. I'm zooming in on the camera. You have no idea what I'm zooming in on. How about that? Is that a little better? Andy, is that what you were looking for? Brandon, preference on a K-beam or a Camauto Elite lifter? Man, they both have their advantages. So I feel like the Elite lifter, right, which is what I have here. Now, I want to preface this by saying the K-beam tests to like 1,500 pounds of pulling power. I feel like this will let you get in a little bit deeper. I feel like it may shine slightly better on the largest pulls. That spring-loaded head is fantastic. But you're giving up a lot of functionality. If we, give me a second, I'll grab a K-beam here off the wall and I'll explain where I think the K-beam really shines. All right, so with the K-beam, a little bit lighter, but a little bit shorter, right? Side by side, a little bigger, a little smaller. Ugh. This is a little easier to set up. Like the sled locks in place. I don't have to be real conscious of here, right, when I'm going. It's nitpicky, but it's something. Both sets of legs slide in and out. The Camauto is on a side. So I have to be aware which side the screw is on. I know Kiko is always on top, right? So that's easy to get to. This 360 rotation, they both have that. But the Camauto is just on a single pivot or single plane, more like, I lost my K-bar, more like the foot of the K-bar, where it just goes in one direction. These will conform to more areas and, right, they're part of the Kiko system, so we can swap out feet, swap out the kidney feet for crease feet. We can also, speaking of feet, shout out to Black Plague, the new adjustable feet also fit the Kiko products. You can also double up the crease feet. I think, again, so if it comes down to if you're already vested in a system, stick with that system and build out. I feel like the Camauto pulls big a little bit better. I feel like the Kiko is a bit more versatile, I guess is what it would come down to. It goes for, or it would go to whatever you're more comfortable with, I suppose. I can tell you for sure, they're both fantastic products that work incredibly well. That's a difficult question to answer, Brandon. Behind that. No, Nick, they don't just pop out, no matter what Louis thinks. I mean, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. And I think we are caught up on comments. So let's go back to camera 2 and see what kind of move we get out of here. So now that I've been talking a little bit, I know that I have my temp gun up, but just by feel, that is a little bit cool. Temperature is your biggest culprit. Warm it back up Don't be bashful with that heat. This Cam Auto glue really likes to work in between 75 and 90 degrees is where it likes to hang out. So we still got our tension going on the sides. Either way, my repair path that I like to follow is strongest to weakest, deepest to shallowest. So we've already restored a ton of the body line, which is good. There's not really more strength anywhere, but there is deeper. So this is definitely bigger and deeper. So I want to go here and then here and then here. And I'm going to come in and try to get this foot up on this crown. Slide this up so we're pulling nice and straight. Lock that in. Now I much prefer a steady pull over a hard pull. A lot of guys will want to gravitate to a slide hammer here and just grip and rip. Would much rather work nice and controlled. And we have a lot of power even with these smaller intermediate tabs, especially when we're working slow and steady and we're not shocking the glue. We're not sneaking up on it and trying to rip its head off or anything. Just need to get a little bit of angle there. There we go. Pull that way. Now you guys are working where you guys are looking where I would like to be working. So I got to sneak my old gray head in here. The bottom pulled up pretty nice. Get out of the way. I like the movement on the bottom. Let me see if I can bring the slide in for you. There we go. Maybe. Bottom moved a lot. Looks like the top moved a good bit. This middle can definitely come up some more. Still feels like I've got a little bit of heat in here, so we're all right. Let's give that another good pull. That held pretty good, boys and girls, if I got any girls watching, if Melissa is still in here. That moved pretty well. That moved pretty well. Can still see, in fact, you can still see a little bit of that low sticking through right there. I'm going to go ahead, put a little splash of heat back into that. Pull that a little bit more. When you're pulling with these, when you're pulling hard, make sure like you're taking a little bit of an athletic stance and keeping a foot behind you just in case. Another thing I like to teach, I don't like to teach, I still like to teach, is don't default to losing your alcohol. Oh, hold on, Mac is here. Oh, Mac's got his own key. When you're pulling, like especially when you're following the steps, don't pull to release all the time. Don't always just yank and go as hard as you can. You see, right? You should have seen how much movement I just had in these little tabs. If we're just blindly pulling, if we're just blindly pulling to release, you can end up creating some really big high spots that are at a minimum like a huge pain in the butt to knock down. And if you were on the, no offense, if you're on the body shop, body technician side of things, where you're still learning how to work precise, you can end up making high spots that are so much harder to knock down than the low spots that you were trying to pick up are, if that makes sense. So I'm going to sneak in here with this Cam Auto pry tool. A little bite there, huh? I also love when guys tell me that, man, these tabs just don't stick, doesn't work. I can't get the damn thing off. You're telling me it doesn't stick. When you follow the process, when you are keeping an eye on temperature, flashing your humidity off, geez. Now you guys are watching the glue room sweat because he's making the glue stick too good. There he goes. Where was my train of thought at? Oh yeah, like don't just blindly over pull. Even like these are not big tabs. I mean, this is, it's like the, where are we at? It's really zoomed in. Right there. That is like the size of a quarter. Like that little tab holds like crazy. Hi, Mr. Fetty, how are you?
Well, good evening.
Can pop on camera here.
All right.
There we go. Yeah, here. So there's Mac. Mac couldn't stay away. He's watching the live stream and he's like, you know what, Dad, I'm going to come down and hang out, see if I can run cameras and see if I can help you out. You can run cameras. So that's 2. That's 2. That's 3. And that's 4. So we're spending a lot of time on 2 looking at the repair. So let me get that. Yep. So let's get this wiped off. And then you can keep an eye on comments. They're on the far right screen. Whatever. There we go. So you can actually come in here and pop those up on screen, on and off. So Andy, I didn't fly across because I took that athletic stance I was telling you about, and I was careful to not fall. Moving pretty good. Let's see if I can get this camera in here, zoom in and show you what's up. This one, too many knobs. Man, that's really zoomed in. You know what? Mac is here. I'll pop this off and take you guys for a ride again. There we go. So, pretty good moves. Shrunk that down. Still got to bring that body line up a little bit more. And I don't like, where are you at? I don't really love how that upper one hasn't moved. I got to get in here, be a bit more aggressive. Like that move. So I think I'm going to do 2 tabs. We're going to go here, right below the body line, and here, right above the body line. Be aggressive and then knock down a little bit more. There we go. Andy, is that zoomed in enough for you? You can scroll those up. There we go. Stu says Mac.
What's up, everybody?
Look at that. We got guest stars here. Right there. Macaroni coming back in. I just hope he doesn't steal the show. There we go. There's your boy Stu. What's up, Stu?
Andy wants it a little closer. You better zoom it in a little bit.
Oh, he wants it closer?
Yeah.
Is that what he said? All right, we'll get closer. How's that? That's in there pretty good. All right, so let me stick my head in your way now because I need to see what's going on. All right. When you're doing these, like you're really just trying to match your low spot to your glue tab, or match your glue tab to your low spot. Like I always tell students, like all we're trying to do is figure out what tab makes the high spot that turns the low spot inside out. Like is what we're sort of going after. I'm going to come back to a couple of old faithfuls here. Matt, give me camera 3. So we're going to go with a couple of gangrene rectangle tabs. These things are awesome. There we go. All right, Andy. So tab placement on this particular repair. So that's what we're going to come in now and do. So yeah, we'll go to 2. So that's clean. These are good. I'm going to give these tabs a little flash. Give this face a little flash just to be safe. Oh. Come in with our gun. Andy, I'm going to do my best here to stay off of camera and let you see just how we do this. So I'm going to come in with that gangrene tab. I'm going to place above the body line first. I'll come in, and this tab, both of these tabs, actually pull basically the shape of the face pretty well. And now this bottom one, the center of my intermediate tab was right there, so it actually pulled a little low. That was my bad. I've got it running this way. So this dent was tall. This low is tall. This one is wide. I want to come in right here with this one. And these little tabs, like back in the day, and I guess even still, called them my problem solvers. I also wouldn't mind here, like the biggest, give me camera 3. I also wouldn't mind the biggest Reaper tabs, but I'm pretty sure I was at a training last week, 2 weeks ago. Anyways, I was in Boston. I think it was 2 weeks ago. And I left like hundreds of dollars worth of tabs in the body shop. I can't find it anywhere. Somehow they didn't make the trip back, and all of my Reaper tabs were in there. I'm gonna have to hop on and order some. So Vidine, that's where you're at. What's your thought process on the K-bar over a mini bridge or cam auto lifter to isolate the pull more at this point? Jared, great question. And a lot of times there are multiple answers to that question, or maybe not multiple solutions to that. So K-bar or mini bridge or mini lifter. All 3 options are awesome. So we're now small enough that we can get into a mini lifter. I think we could do, I'm looking off camera, we could do a robo, or I think the cam auto lifter. As long as your feet can get on the crown or beyond, you're good to go. A mini bridge, because we're getting so small, because the pull is going to be so small, and I'm not really looking for a double action move, I would probably steer away from a bridge just for setup time. Doesn't mean a bridge is wrong. It just means in this particular case, I wouldn't jump to a bridge. And then the K-bar is fast. But I like where your head is. And I have my cam auto puller. Oh, we moved it around. That's my old one with the bad head. Well, that Mac is springing into action for the cam auto puller. Yep, and I've got feet here, feet are over there, bud. Yep. So that's a good call. So we're going to go with and give the old cam auto lifter a try. So I actually had the first one. Me and Melissa were at Cam Auto when he debuted these. This was the first one they built for production, and I got it. But hold that for a second. It didn't have the movable head. When you went to turn here to adjust height, the head turned, which was no good. And Charles was kind of like, didn't catch that in testing. Maybe we should have caught that, but he didn't. But this was still, and I'm holding on to it, I believe the first one produced for sale is mine. You may not have it, but when I talked to Charles about that at MTE, I said, hey, can I get that replacement head? And he said, hey, here, take this lifter. So that's what we're going to go with. So let's go for it. There we go. Will there be anything to switch into a smaller lateral bar to tabs closer to the dent? Tom, if that's a good question, switch to camera 2, Mac. So I don't know if you saw the dent before, if you saw the thumbnail you did, like it was huge. If we still had a big kink right at the body line, Tom, yes, I would potentially move these in closer to pull that harder. Our body line, and we know that it was, I started the repair with this, like the dude fell into it with his shoulder. So we know it's a big, broad impact. Our body line has come back a good bit. I don't think we need to move them. So in the sake of efficiency, right, I've left them out here. They're still holding tension. This metal is still all really soft, but there's no, I don't know that we would gain anything really measurable in there. Yeah, that green tab is a super hard pulling tab. I remember when I was still with Kiko, And somebody made a post, and me and Matt Moore, who are Kiko trainers, both chimed in on the post that was the solution, I think is what we called that tab, because like when nothing else would pull, it would pull. And Chris White was like, can you guys tell me why 2 of my trainers are talking about somebody else's tab working so well? He's like, what's the magic behind that tab? And we sort of thought about it, and I really think that it probably just comes down to service area. I'm the wrong way here. I'm losing all of my pull power. Oh, there we go. So just like, let's talk about this for a second. Coming to camera 3. So just like earlier, I talked about the thread difference on the Cam Auto Elite versus the K-Beam. Well, same thing, because I haven't used this a ton. The Kiko, the Robo, righty-tighty, pulls it up. I'm sitting here threading, and I'm losing all my pull. Cam Auto is the other way, right? So reverse twist from Kiko. So anyways, let's get in here. And I'm actually going to bring these feet in. So Jared, I think, was asking. So what I'm doing here is bringing my feet closer in to concentrate that pull. Oh, man, that's a big pull. Oh, yeah, I don't even know that you can really see it. You can see the movement in the metal. But that is hooked on and ready to go. Come down to our blue one. And these feet are like exactly next to that tab. When you can pin all of that metal down around there, oh, it's awesome. Come back to camera 3, Mac. So actually, let me go camera 2, and I'll just widen it out. So on here, Jared, I guess you could do this. So you can actually take this nut closest into the top of the head of the tool, and you can lock this in and hold tension. And in essence, use this like an ultra mini beam. So it's actually kind of cool. It's a pretty cool lifter. I'm really excited that I got that new head to give that a go. So let me take that lock back off of there. Now, I made pretty good pulls on both of those. Let me take a look and see what we've got. Zoom back in here for Mr. Andy. Come on, got to focus. There we go. Pretty good pull on the bottom, and I see that even pulling here, that's bringing my high up. Still got that good low around there on that green one. So we're going to come in, slide on, and pull a little bit harder. Again, guys, I would much rather see you make a couple softer pulls than one giant over pull, right? Again, especially for the guys who are just learning, it is much easier. It's a much easier skill. That's so hard. I don't know how well. Look at how much movement that is. Oh, that's good. Anyways, it is a much easier skill to slightly lift than it is to pull. So we're gonna give this bottom just a little bit more. That almost wants to rip that tab apart. See how that whitened out the neck of that tab? Whew. I don't want anybody coming on here and telling me these little tabs don't stick. Now we see if we can get these things off. Might be zoomed in too much there, huh? There we go. We got any comments, questions, Mac? So we're just going to let that alcohol work in, try to release under tension. Maybe. Man, this glue is holding hard tonight. There it is. There we go. Man, that new Cam Auto mini lifter is pretty sweet. Let's peel these off and see what kind of moves we got. And then I know we're going to have to do some knocking down. Whew, that pulled hard. That actually pulled really hard. Oh, yeah, you can see it. So in here, man, that actually pulled that green one. pulled so hard that that mark you're seeing right there, it might look like a low on camera with that reflection. That is actually a gnarly little high inside of that low. We got to do a little bit of cleanup here. Now I'm gonna try to bring this in for you. And what do we need to do? I think I need to make it lower. Just trying to get you guys the best view possible without making you drunk. Here we go. Whew, man, those are good. We any questions or anything here, Mac? Let's see what we got. The old Fetty Wap. That's right, Tom. Bam, bam. Bam, bam. Shoo-wee. Yeah, you're right, Andy. Shoo-wee for sure. That's, man, she's in there. She's in there real good. So let's do a little bit of knocking down. We're going to come in with a little shock blocker in R4. Let's see what that looks like. All right. Andy, we are only going to be live for about 10 more minutes, and then I'm going to bed. Right in your way, huh? This is like the hardest part of filming, is trying to get this kind of stuff to show up for you. So when we were doing the master class, I know the original Dent guys were mentioning the master class is good. I spent a lot of that video, or a lot of those videos, with a GoPro in my mouth. There's a bite mouth, and to give you guys the best possible view of what's going on. Moving pretty good. So guys, you got to tell me, how bad is the knockdown sound on the camera? Like, how hard does that come across? There we go. Try to back it up and show you a little bit of those crowns. Yeah, Mac, what do we got?
Just want to make it clear to Tom that there's nothing happy or little about those spots.
That is true. Yeah, those were happy little. There are no mistakes, Mac. Just happy little high spots. That's all. No, they're happy. It's all happy metal. You gotta let the metal flow, like doing the metal dance. Feeling it, working it. We're gonna have to do a Happy Gilmore sticker. What do we got?
Brandon wants to know, is the shock blocker as awesome as they say?
At Brandon, like, so let me come over. Let's go to camera 3 real quick, Mac. So let's go here. Right. So the shock blocker, right? Here's what it is: knockdown, standard threads, but it floats in here. So it actually allows all of the vibration to pass through your fingers. So you're coming in, you're hitting it, and there's almost no vibration going in your fingers on the like. So prior to my obsession with the shock blocker, right, VIP was my go-to. VIP is still a fantastic knockdown. I still use a ton of VIP tips. I love Peter. It's great stuff. He had a foam for comfort and to absorb some of the shock. Like this was a go-to. I have like half a dozen of these on my cart. When Steve Dyke, when he was working for Anson, right when Nick came out with these, I was at Anson. We were doing a class, and he brought it over, and he's like, "Here, try this new knockdown." It was, I mean, it literally was love at first tap. So here, yeah, 4, 5. We got.
That is the shock blocker.
Yeah, Anson carries them. Here we go. So, do I like the shock blocker? Your answer would be yes. I love the shock blocker, and these are some of the tips that I use all the time for that. These things are fantastic. Great tool by a great company. I don't know that Anson owns them yet, but Nick sells them through Anson. Dent Vision Tools. In fact, we've got it's going to be these guys right here. Right, the shock blocker 2 from Dent Vision. Cool sticker. It needs to go on my cart. Anyways, these things are awesome for sure. Love those knockdowns. Somebody else have a question, Mac?
Andy was just asking what kind of knockdown that was.
Yep.
Went with Brandon there.
Perfect. Stefan. Yes, right? That metal will tell you exactly what it wants to do. So we're getting weird highs. We're holding up. It wants to dent. Listen to the metal, and it'll tell you what it wants to do. Let's come back to camera 2, Mac. So I just want to stream for like 5 more minutes and then call it a night because I am tired. So all I'm trying to do here, guys, is get rid of these crowns, smooth this metal out. Repairs in general, but especially glue. Move back to camera 3, Max. When you're glue pulling, right, this is the picture I like to paint, but even it even holds true for pushing. When your dent is a V, glue is going to struggle more. So what we're doing is, as we're pulling and shrinking, and those shoulders and crowns are coming up, they're going like this, and they're turning the metal into a V. Using my knockdown, we're rolling those crowns out, and we're trying to turn it more into a U or a bowl. So if we get that soft bottom, that is what is easier to move. So I've knocked all my high ridges down. Change my angle of my light a little bit. Working through there. All right, so let me pop this off. Give you guys a little peek. Come on, give me my camera. Get this out of the way. So here is where we're gonna leave it. So notice how up top, like, let me put it right in the middle of the screen. See how that top low is nice and super soft? Maybe a little bit of an edge on the backside. That's because you guys were in my way with the camera. I want to open this up some more. You see how, so I'm going to take the light past it, and I'm going to roll the light into the dent. See how right in the center of the screen, right at the body line that goes like to a deep dark shadow. That's telling me that that's still sitting a little deep. I may open this up in either direction and then try to pull here and here. And also, I'm not trying to glue this whole thing, right? This is a ram. So I've got a little light in here for you. I've got killer access in here. I actually take this pin out right there, take that little pin out and run a bar through here. And then I've got a rest and I can get a great tool in there. And I'm only like 2 feet away from the taillight, right? So this is just to start with glue. And we've got great starts. I may even switch to push tools in the morning. So let me slip this back down. Mac, let's go back to camera 3. Slide this in here, get this locked in. I just don't want to drop a camera because that would be a bad day. So, right, that was a little bit of sure thing dent fixer. So this one, first repair live stream. I haven't done that in quite a while. Hudson's in here stirring up the pot. There we go. There we go. Hudson. Now, Hudson's talking about using a little dab of glue on the little tabs, like the tornado tabs, that sets up fast and pull fast. We're not looking for fast, quick pulls. We're looking for large, aggressive, flexible pulls on here. So Hudson's not wrong, and Hudson's a pretty smart dude when it comes to repairs. Anyways, that was that. I think that might have been in reference to Love at First Tap. Yes, it was. Now your son's embarrassed. Anyways, guys, so this was our first live stream. The feedback seems great. The comments seem great. Let me know what else you guys want to see. I may even leave everything set up tonight and come back and turn the stream on tomorrow when I'm getting into more pushing and working on the dent. I doubt that I'm going to stream the entire repair, but like, feel free to chime in. Keep an eye out on your feeds. Let me see if it's in here before we wrap up. Oh, like somebody came in. Nick, I'm glad you guys, Nick and Stefan, got to come in. Sorry, I wasn't thinking about your podcast, but I didn't really set a time. We had some stuff to do, but I wanted to stream, and I even came back and took a quick little power nap to buy you guys some time and buy me some energy for that. So anyways, we made a funny video last night. We've got a new product that we're like soft launching. Anyways, I want to share the video with you guys if it's in here, just for the laugh. Media assets. Where's that? Video clips. There it is. All right, so stick with me for like a minute and 45 seconds, at least for the first few seconds. I want you to check out this new product that we're doing. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Gene Fetty. I wanted to talk to you about a problem we run into it. Oh. So now that I have your attention, my new product, horse clamps, actually solve the problem of securing panels to workhorses. These are designed to attach to your shop horse and secure your panel to move it around, work on it, whatever you need. Let's talk about it for a minute. All right, guys, so let me show you how this works. It's actually a pretty simple setup. We've got our clamp here that's going to attach to the leg of our heavy-duty workhorse stand. And we've got our ratchet hook here to grab onto openings on the back side, and we can lock it in place. So we're just going to go like this. And I'm going to make sure that the flat side goes to the back, to the inside of the stand. Slide that on there. Get your washer and lock washer out. Spin your wing nut down. That nice and snug. We don't need to crush anything. Then we just grab the release on our ratchet, get our slack out, and find a suitable place underneath your panel to hook onto. Lock it into place. I like to put 4 on a stand for maximum security. All right, so with 4 horse clamps on a stand like this, I want to show you how sturdy it is. Not going anywhere there. And look, even here. With horse clamps, I can tell you that that baby ain't going anywhere. All right, if you are ready to secure your panels to a stand, you can get a set of your own horse clamps at horseclamps.com. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching the commercial. We had a blast making that last night, and the shooting the hood across was intentional, but the reaction was not. Like, that thing really took off and got away from me. It was kind of crazy. So let me get back to comments here. Brandon, thank you so much. Like, I love to teach. So anytime people are learning something new, we're happy to do it and happy to continue doing it. Amit, let me see where to go. Let me take a look at my schedule and see what this looks like. So I've got a waiter at 9 a.m. Looks like a good couple-hour repair. So probably, if I had to pick a time, we're going to call it like lunchtime or slightly thereafter, Eastern Standard Time or Eastern. I don't know what. The time just changed. Eastern United States, right, is when we'll go. But I would call it late morning to early afternoon. Keep an eye out. Maybe as I see what that repair is going to look like, I might even be able to schedule the live. So keep an eye out on the pages, and we will be there. Perfect. Nick, thank you so much, dude. I appreciate that. How about Sioux Falls? Yeah, Brandon, that's exactly what they're for. We're making the horse clamps for the body shops. Now, that being said, they've become a go-to tool for me. I do most of my doors now. Instead of putting them on a hood stand, I'm putting them on a horse, and I can clamp them down and really get into it. It is super good. Woo! There's Uncle Jack. Sioux Falls in the house. Thanks for stopping in. Going great. Getting ready to wrap up and go to bed. Give me a Stu. There we go. Stu, thanks for coming in. Guys, thank you all for coming in. Hopefully this records somewhere and I can upload it, or it lives on my pages and you can check it out. I hope you learned something. Thanks for all the interactions and comments. That makes it all worthwhile. And don't forget to reach out and let us know what else we can show you. And follow us on all the socials at Auto Appearance Institute. So here, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, we're all over the place. And we have that level up class coming up with Jean at the end of the month, 24th to the 28th. AutoAppearanceInstitute.com/level up. Just like it says on the screen. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm sure we'll turn this back on and get it going. See you on the next one.